I think Texas hates coffee.
Wow.
I think they do. I think they all think that all coffee is like burnt or something. I'm not sure what's going on. They're going to hate me for saying this, but I can't. It's just so harsh.
Yeah.
And I'm used to super light blonde roast. You know, Central American. Like we like our nice smooth coffee. You know, I can't have like harsh stuff. So,
yeah.
Anyways, okay. So welcome to the Gallery Hangover, as I'm calling it. It started out with we wanted to kind of promote the shows, obviously, and then the gallery, and then I had scheduled all these for the day after the show, and I was like, I am done. You know, it's a whole prep week.
Oh yeah.
You know, you put shows together, like it is just prep, and then so the day after, you're just. I mean, I didn't even drink. I'm just exhausted. So I thought that was funny. So that's what we went with. And then we've just now we've been doing them and they're really fun. So the first thing I want to ask you is, because you've been here now, how long? What, like 2 years? Has it been 2 years?
No, it's been almost a year and a half. I got my studio December of 2024.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, not even a year and a half.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know why I feel like you've been here forever.
I don't know.
I mean, it's good though.
Yeah.
It feels like home. This feels very comfortable.
Absolutely.
And I love you and Jem, who we're going to have a talk with, I think, on Wednesday.
Cool.
You guys are doing the drawing classes.
We're doing painting across the way, which was kind of amazing how that happened. It just is very organic. You know, I had heard from Rod that one of the members, Dee Dee, had been moving out, which was a complete shock. She had been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of just had that information in the back of my head, and I was talking on the phone with Jem about classes, and we've both been teaching a lot locally for like 5 years. We've taught at various different organizations. We both still teach at the San Paulo Art Museum where I work, and I've been wanting to do private lessons, and it's just been an idea since I got the studio, but I never did anything about it because I didn't feel like I had the space.
Right.
I don't want to have like 2 or 3, or I definitely couldn't have more than that in my studio, you know.
It doesn't have to be fancy, but it needs to be nice, like comfortable.
Yeah, and I don't want them to feel like they're being forced in a space that's not available to them, you know, like if they're crammed in there or feel like I just threw a table in my studio, you know, I want it to feel more like welcoming.
The setting up every time up and down, that's also a hot mess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a hot mess.
This was just like, oh my gosh, what if we have a space designed for classes that we just maintain as a classroom? We don't have to clean anything up. We just both maintain it and keep it, you know, clean. We went in 50-50 on a lot of the initial materials.
Love it.
And now we're just starting to pick up some momentum, and it's great.
I walked in and I saw it because I obviously see it when I'm on all the socials, and then I walk in and I was like, oh my god, this looks so good.
Yeah, cool.
Years ago we did, when we're still, you know, just growing and trying different things here at the gallery, and I said, okay, we had another artist, she's a local artist, very, very good, very nice. She was a teacher for years as well, and she's like, we should do like live drawing. And I was like, let's do it. Like, let's try it. So I had somebody make a bunch of horses, and cool. I mean, I think we had like a dozen. And so then we would open Saturday mornings. It was kind of just a pay at the door. You can come and draw. We'd have a little model, and then she would, you know, facilitate the drawing. And it was nice. It was cute. I am not a teacher. I don't know how to facilitate those types of events, and so it was fine. We did it for like basically I think a whole summer, and it was perfectly fine. And again, pay at the door. So some days we'd be full, and then some days we wouldn't. And because the expectation is one drawing in one class, right? So it's if they liked it, they might come back. If not, maybe we take a few weeks off. Anyways, and it was fun, but I could not keep up. I think you guys have the experience, and you have such a beautiful set that you don't have to take up and down, and it is so nice. And they can store all their art there. It's phenomenal. Like, it's such a great, like, you guys have done such a good job. I would say the people that, you know, we've been here almost, we're in our 15th year, and some of the people we've had come through have really made this, like, help build this place, elevate it, right? And so I would say, like, Nash is one. He's been here forever. Heck, our music guy. And now I feel like the new blood with you and Jem and the Last Place Art Club. I mean, and there's other artists who are fantastic, but there's some standouts that really they're contributing to not only their own progression and success, but I feel like as a whole, it just adds so much to this place.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it's magic. It feels magic, and there's like a momentum this year. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel it and I notice it. With the interactions we have online, with people inquiring, it's very like I can feel it, and that's I think attributed to what you guys bring to the table.
Yeah. And when I first moved into this place, it feels like I was getting in here at a stage of transition anyways. Like he was going through the rebranding, and he had this kind of vision that's coming into fruition, and like there's all these things that are happening that it's an exciting time to be here, and I feel like it was a good, almost a perfect spot for me to come in. And it's one of those things where life just kind of threw this opportunity, and it was almost obvious right in front of me. It's like getting invited to be part of this show through Andrea. She got me into this space, and then there's a space opening, and I was looking for a space, and it was just like, well, it's right in front of you, like you might as well take the opportunity and trust it.
No, I feel like you really did come in at the right time, and then it's just continued to
and then like the community followed, because like I had brought Jem in here, and she was looking for a space, and Last Place Art Club was looking for a space, and I gave them a tour. In fact, how that happened is they were looking just for a spot to do their Lazy Sundays. And I was really eager to show them this kind of new space that I was becoming a part of, and they saw the studio, and they were just like fell in love there right away.
It's hard not to. It's a good backdrop. This whole place is just lends to this.
And I like that there's a lot of potential here. Rodrigo's so open and willing to work with us as members. So to me, I feel like we have the support, and the fact that he gets excited when we have these ideas is
we both do. Like like I said, we started this place in 2011, and I think if anybody else besides us walked in, which that is what happened. 4 years, this place was just completely empty, dilapidated, available, and people would walk in and just walk out. And I think we both, Rodrigo originally had a little shop up on Main Street next to Ficel. It's like a little, space. And then I had, he and I had our paths merged, right? And so I was doing art, and I was thinking we could run little art shows out of here, and I think we had like 2. It was fine. And then very informal, just friends, and wanted to see how do people like go with this, and then we're looking around, and I was actually living over at the Wave, and so I was getting a little more familiar with what the art community was really doing, right? Because you could participate, and you can kind of see who's who and where people are going, and so then this place, he's like, I really think we can do it. Like I really think we can do this. And I'm like, you're insane. This place is huge. We have no money. How are we going to make this work? And he just, he really sold me on it. And I said, okay, like we're going to do this. And we did. I mean, we came in and just, I don't know how we did it. And then we did it. You just start small and then you go. And then eventually, I wanted to do something else, and then him and his partner Jason, they wanted to do something else with what the vision was going to be, and so we were able to still collectively like just make it all work. It's been amazing. I'm like, but I think it like for the entire process has made young artists like you come here, be able to grow your practices and businesses, and it continues to I don't want to say like it's not cyclical, but it kind of is. We'll have these ups, these downs, but then sometimes it feels like, wow, we're really gonna like this is really gonna change this year, and we've had a couple of those.
And there's really no way of knowing what those are going to be. It's like you're kind of just creating a space that gives opportunity, but like that opportunity comes up organically, and you're not going to know what it is. Like when I think the 3rd month into having my space, I was approached to do this commission that was going to be like, she wanted a big painting. That's all I knew. And I organized a meeting. So I went up to her place in the early morning. She actually wanted like a sunrise photo from her view. So I went back there, and I took actually it was really foggy. So I kind of missed out on that opportunity, but she got me up for sunrise. So I was there, and she showed me where she wanted the painting, and I was thinking she wanted like 5 feet, maybe 6 feet. Like I thought that was
That's
really
pretty big.
it's pretty big,
Yeah.
and that was the biggest painting I would have done at that time. But she had like this vision. She knew exactly where she wanted it to go. So we pulled out the measuring tape, and it went well past the 6 foot, into
Oh
8 feet,
man.
into 10 feet, and she was like, "Yeah, this is about what I
Yeah,
want."
that's what I
And I'm
want.
like, "Okay, all right," and
Sure, no
just
problem. I got you.
yeah, and like I was at a point in my life where I felt like I could more easily be accepting of new experiences that I don't necessarily have the experience for.
Right.
It's like just being able to trust that things will work out and that I can do this, and I don't have to know how things are going to. I don't predict every step of the way, and like that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll figure it out as I go, and just having that kind of confidence to move into the unknown. And I was more willing to take on projects at that time, so it was just this amazing opportunity that I could only take advantage of because I had this space
Yeah.
to hold such a large painting.
Yeah.
The studio I was working at before, I could not fit something half that size.
Yeah. I will say this, like it is having home studios versus, and even then, if you have a giant house, great. But sometimes if you're really trying to work out of your house, especially as an emerging artist, like it's a struggle, and you are
Oh, yeah.
very limited.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't just.
And then there's the whole mentality too.
Yeah.
It's like if you're at home, you're gonna get distracted. It's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to get into that flow of working and that separation and to create
Right.
time for it. And so it does feel good when I come in here. I feel like I'm kind of like clocked in and I'm here for the purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it is. I wanted to, just because I do this all the time. I jump into talking and I don't get people a chance to tell who they are to be
Okay.
watching. So I just, please, let's do a little formal introduction, who you are, and
Sure.
then kind of your style of painting and just even a little background.
Oh man, I'll try to keep it short.
I know, it's okay. Well, we're only here for 5 hours.
Yeah. So my name is Gabriel Islas. I am a painter. I am a museum administrator and a teacher of fine art. So I've been working professionally in Ventura County for about 5 years now. I started off teaching, and then about 3 years ago, I got the position curator of creativity at the Santa Paula Art Museum, where I oversee their education program. I'm essentially the director of the Cole Creativity Center, to put it into terms. And I still teach art. I like to teach adult oil painting. I primarily do landscape painting myself. That's what I'm really drawn to. I did go to Academy of Art University, so I was trained in portraiture and different mediums and still life, of course, and just building form. But what it really attracts me to art is landscape. I think there's something really significant about landscape in the spiritual sense and also just the geological sense. Like there's something just so amazing about our planet and something so beautiful about a grand landscape and the lighting of it and the distance of it and the biodiversity that it creates. And there's just something like so much there. And I feel like it's not muddied up with politics or a very strong message. It's just something that's approachable by everyone and something that everyone can connect to.
It's fairly universal.
It's universal,
Yeah, like
yet it's still extremely individual.
Well, yeah, depending on, obviously every artist is going to have their take.
Yeah.
But by universal, I mean it is something that you don't have to explain it to somebody who doesn't live here, or you don't have to. It's something that if somebody, it could be somebody that lives here full time, they just want something that's familiar. It could be somebody passing through, they absolutely love it. Coming from a gallerist side, right? It's appealing, it's universal. People generally are not puzzled by what a landscape is, and they just want to appreciate the talent, the application, the final production of the piece. I feel like there's a resurgence with the younger artists that are coming out, that are getting into landscapes and still life, and not just because they had to in school, but because it generally speaks to them, and that or genuinely speaks to them, and it's something that they feel like they need to get out, right?
Yeah,
and it's how they're going to express themselves artistically. When I first noticed it was right before you and Jem kind of came in, and I could see it all the time with you guys, right? But before that, I just noticed, coming out of the pandemic and people were highly political about everything they were doing. And then there was this kind of lull, and then there was almost this tranquility of a transition. Like it's this quiet move to things that I don't want to say don't matter, but don't make a statement.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
and I noticed it coming through. I'd see people
Yeah.
submitting with these things. Artists are posting more about these things. And so it was just something I noticed. And now I'm noticing younger and younger artists are really focusing in on this. And everyone
Yeah.
has their own take, but it has this traditional resurgence feel. And then people are branching out into, and even,
Yeah.
hey, even in the gallery, I rarely bring it. You saw I bring in landscapes this last time, and it's not usual for me, but I've noticed that the things I'm seeing, I like things that feel a little bit more individual. I don't want something that is unidentifiable, if that makes any sense. Like when I see a landscape, I'd like to know, like, oh, that's that artist, like that's their take, that's their style, right? And you, I think, are transitioning into that as well. Like I've noticed, even the one that you've been working on, oh my god, the colors are like, there's, I mean, it really stands out. And I like this more aerial view that you seem to be taking. Um, you seem to pan every new piece I go in there, it seems to pan out further and further and further, and I really love it.
Yeah.
I think it is so beautiful, and you really are capturing, where we live. And
yeah, I mean, I think like naturally, just as like I develop as an artist, and especially through teaching and having to break things down into a structure and to be able to convey concepts, it's really made me a lot more comfortable with ways to interpret based off of theory, and the big thing for me, I mean, with landscape in general, what makes landscape stand out between, portrait and still life is that you have distance.
Right.
And that's a really big characteristic. So I've really dove into atmospheric perspective and how to really push things back in a way that feels natural without just relying on copying pictures from a photo.
Absolutely,
or colors from a photo. It's like I'm actually interpreting it based off of real concepts, but I'm recreating it.
You're becoming an impressionist.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Yeah,
I mean, that's what that whole movement was, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely. And texture too, different ways to create texture, and just there's so much revolving around just the concept of interpreting a photo.
And you have, and I just want to, I know that we may not get this out sooner, but right now you have a show going on, and it's just a little bit.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I could bring up. So last year I got pretty motivated to be ambitious in what I find to be significant in my life, which comes down to a multitude of things. One of them being outdoor painting. It's very adventurous. I think there's a lot of value in getting a group of people outside in a different location that's very grand and beautiful, and a place where it challenges us, and just getting people in general has always been like really fun for me. So I've been painting with this group for over 10 years. And at first it was just three of us, just three guys. We just went to Ventura College together. We'd go painting. Then I went to school in San Francisco, didn't paint with them for a long time, came back, we got back together. I was like, hey, let's go painting again. So we do that every now and again. Then a fourth person came along that I just met organically at Ventura. He was working at Wants and Needs Gallery. And it was us four for a while. And then every now and again, we like get other people to paint with us locally. And then I became really ambitious for this trip, and I'm like, let's get a big group together. Like, I was almost thinking like curating people to make a really powerful group of like-minded, similar age group artists that are all kind of dedicated. And there ended up being 9 of us on this trip that I organized to the Sierras. And in addition to just getting people together, I wanted to finally formalize our group. We had talked about that for like years. It's like, oh, let's get a name. Let's like become this thing, And we had to come up with all these different names. And what I really liked out of all these options was Plein Air Landscape Society.
Yeah, I love it, by the way.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And I really like that mainly because of the acronym.
Yes,
because it's
absolutely.
pals,
Yeah.
painting with pals.
It was so good. Rodrigo had showed it to me, and I was like, "This is genius! I love this." For me, it resonated in so many different ways. It was obvious you had a plein air, group, but then the pals thing, and then specifically because I love everything to do with pop art. There's an old movie, probably before your time, and it is an old Western, and then they talk about being pals. And throughout the whole movie it's pals, and then the meaning of pals, and it ain't easy being a pal, and I relate everything to movies. That's just my
What
thing.
movie is that?
It's Young Guns.
Young Guns?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have most if people are gonna be like, that's a terrible movie, like, I don't care, I love it. Like, it's one of my favorite
make some
movies.
good content, getting clips from that.
Oh, yeah, it's like so good. So Casey Seismico is the guy that he's really like, it ain't easy being pals, and it's just this is the pinnacle of this movie, and they're all gonna go on this suicide mission, and he's like, I'm going, but you'll have to check it out, and it's referenced at least, like, in fact, then, oh my god, I'm getting so off topic. Then at the end, there's actually I've been to the burial site, and supposedly we're Billy the Kid, and he was the character that Casey Seismico plays. They're all buried in it, and it has pals on their tombstone.
Cool.
And you're just like, oh, I just love this. Like,
makes it real.
It does. It makes it real. So when you have that name, anyway, I had a whole, just like I did now, I had a whole moment. I was like, this is genius. I love it. And then, of course, the design, everything, it's fantastic. Like,
well, that was all intentional.
Good, as it should be. It's beautiful. Like, it's very, you guys did a great job. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those nice examples of holding on and letting go. It's like, anytime you're working in a group, it's like the group is bigger than the sum of the parts. It's just, once we got there, especially in the Sierras, like, I'm not trying to control anything. I'm not trying to keep us to a specific schedule. I'm not even trying to take control anymore. It's just like, cool, like, I organize this, now we're all here. I'm just a part of it now. Right. And let's just see where it goes. Let's see what we create. Yeah. However, when I was highly motivated to start making all these big moves in my life, like in November last year, I created an exhibit originally for myself, because I have 2 exhibits planned for 2027. Mm-hmm. So I have a solo show at the Santa Paula Art Museum in January. And then in July, I have a solo show at Fox Fine Jewelry. But that was like a year and a half at that point away. Yeah. So I'm like, what am I going to do in 2026? Like, I want something to look forward to and to like work towards and to build on. So one of my friends just started his first, the first artist studio spaces in Oxnard called Chapter 30. Nice. And it's similar to this. It has its own unique differences, but they do have like a gallery space that's essentially between all the studio spaces. And he just created it. It's brand new, and he's eager to work with artists and to like activate the space. So I'm like, let's do a show there, Yeah. And he was really willing to make it immersive, and like he wants us to like be imaginative with like what to do in the space. Yeah. So it just seemed like the right guy to work with, the right time, all of that. So yeah, originally it was just for me. I'm like, hey, can I do a solo show there? Like, I want something.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, of course. And like, we did a quick little organizing, and then it wasn't even a week later, I'm like, this really needs to be bigger than me. Like, I don't want to just have everything focused on me. Like, everything works better when you collaborate. I want to be a part of something else. So I had just organized this trip to the Sierras. Now there's this group called Pals. So I'm like, let's just do a group show, And I'm so grateful that everyone was so on board, because I kind of just did it. I'm just like, hey, this is going to be a group show now.
Sometimes people just have to trust the process, and it usually works. If you like, what you're doing. It's not just like you fell off a turnip truck and somebody's like, oh, I have an idea. People can see that you've had success in certain areas. I think they think they trust you as a leader, as an organizer, and it all seems to work out. So, it really is it's for me, I love seeing it in this area. We've been here so long, kind of, we were all by ourselves out here for a really long time. And now it's just more and more is popping up. for me, some gallerists get very territorial. I think the more the merrier. Like,
I
I
think
would like to have a whole row of galleries. Everyone's going to be coming down here.
I think that's what attracts me to this space that I didn't really realize or wasn't quite pronounced, because I've been part of some organizations here locally that did kind of give me a different vibe. Like they were a little bit more territorial. I think that's a
Lots
good
of
word.
gatekeeping too.
Yeah,
Like they're like, oh, we can't give
absolutely.
away our secrets. I'm like,
Yeah, and there were some
it's
people I worked
art.
with, worked for, that just didn't make me feel very welcome in that regard specifically. And when I took on the administrative position at the art museum, all of a sudden I was in that position. Like I had my own team of teaching artists, what I was doing, and for me, I went in the opposite direction. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Any growth my teaching artists will experience is going to come back to us. Like I want to
Yes.
nurture that growth and
Yes.
share as much as possible, not hold them down,
No.
not limit them. And like if they're teaching other places, great. If they want to promote some of the other stuff they're doing, that's great. Like my role is like I'm creating the best environment
Yeah.
for them to do what they want to do, and I want to bring people for them.
Yes.
It's like I'm supporting them, and I want them to come back because they like working with us,
Yeah.
and we do really good at our job.
It has always been my philosophy as a gallerist, and I think that comes from a couple places. One, I was very fortunate to grow up in like a little gallery setting, right? My grandmother ran a gallery for like 30 years. I've seen the iterations of what a community gallery can be, and how these shows are structured, and then what people's just reactions as patrons, as artists, right? And then I was also a young artist, and it was so limiting. So just a wall everywhere you went, there's walls. And now we've obviously years later, the steps are essentially the same, right? I make art, I try to show someone, hopefully they like it. I mean, that it's very basic, but boy, the challenges are out there. The technology, the competition. You used to only have to compete with people that lived around you. Now you have to compete with everybody, depending on your goals. You have to compete with everybody that is on the internet or is submitting to the same shows, or across the country. So it's very different. And for me, I try my best to make sure that artists don't feel as though they're going to be pigeonholed here or stalled out, or, oh, what if I really want to show a different gallery, or I want to show this gallery? How can I help you get there?
Yeah.
I'm not in the market of stifling artists, and I also am not in the market of trying to say, well, we don't talk to that gallery, or we don't. It's like, it can only benefit you to help promote people in a positive and genuine way.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. And every time, like, I'm a very honest and pretty open person, honestly, when I talk to people about what I do here, like, I'm going to tell them like how I have the support from Rod to do these things, and
Absolutely.
He's very welcoming to like allow us to teach here, and he helped us to make the aprons, and he cleaned up the space and added the extra storage, and he was excited by the idea of us teaching him. He wasn't trying to like monopolize on it and try to drain us of what we can be doing here. He like wants us to grow in this space, and it's activating the space. It's going to come back to him.
That's how I feel. I mean, look, that's exactly like, that's why we've always been very encouraging. Like when I'm, look, I put a lot of money and effort and time in the promotions. It's like, it is for my health, because this is what I do, right? But it's not because I want people to come here. I want to have a good experience. Yes, I want them to buy art, but I want them to enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So you put this time into promoting things. You want things to be good, and not every show is going to be a hit, and not every show is going to be what you expect. But if you do it right, you're going to have some good hits. You're going to have some good shows. But I always want to do it and encourage people to take advantage. I'm not asking you to pitch in for marketing. I'm not asking you to promote anything. Just open your studios. I'm going to do this work. Open your studios. Let people come in, see what you're doing. Like we've always done that. Yeah. And it I don't take commission from whatever studio sales are coming out. That's not the point. Yeah. It's just I want people who live here, who are going to visit here, to remember, like, oh yeah, I went to that gallery, right? I saw these artists, and it happens all the time. I have people that call me for my art, or what they think they're calling for art in the gallery, they're calling for a studio, right? Like, not a problem. Let me help you get there. Like, that's basic sales and the nature of the building. But at the same time, like I I just feel like people who are open and welcoming and like the cross-pollination can only help everybody grow.
Absolutely.
You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of that's always how we've kind of felt,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, it's a gallerists and artists, or everyone has their own, you know, there's people that, I mean, they're laser focused and nothing else, no one else can help them.
Yeah.
Or,
And it's really unique. Like I really like that I'm getting like a full rounded experience, in the sense that I'm an artist, I'm a contracted teaching artist, and then I'm an administrator. So I kind of like can see all sides, and it really helps when I'm working with teaching artists. Like I'm seeing it from their perspective, and I'm trying to do what I can from my perspective to help them make like the best out of what they want to do.
Right.
You know, and I love that.
Yeah. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. It's just so refreshing, and I love the young, you know, energy that comes in, and it really makes such a difference. I can feel myself getting older and feel like I need to have that energy still, if that makes any sense. I don't want to be this old person who just stuck in her ways and never changes, or like won't listen to anything new, you know. So I'm constantly like, what are they talking about? What are they doing? I want to go, you know. Like, even we went to the
food fight thing.
We went to the food fight, and I had brought a couple friends, my old gallery assistant actually, and then his girlfriend came, and you know, I had never put on an event like that. I had no idea what to expect. What the hell is a food fight? It wasn't even something I would have ever thought of, you know. And again, I know I'm a little bit more traditional in the sense of how things are structured, but I love seeing stuff like that. So we go, and I'm like, this is fantastic. Like, and then whoever put it on, I will say, they have a great following and crowd. It was a good crowd.
Well, that's
it wasn't
Art
like
Club.
well, not just them. I guess he was telling me that there was another guy who was doing a run club as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was just in general, the mix of people was great. Like the people that went there to go see it versus the people participating. It was just so nice. You know, it's like everyone's there to see the artwork. It was really fun. You could hang out for a little bit. It's not this, not that art is going to be rough and rowdy, but you know, Ventura, you never know what we're getting, right? It was so refreshing and so young. So nice to have all the young people like really just enthusiastic about something and passionate about something, and then other people coming in to join, you know.
Well, hopefully I'll see you at the PAL show, because we're trying to be pretty like
when is the PAL show specifically, the one?
So PAL show is at Oxnard's Chapter 30. We have our opening reception on April 4th. That's this upcoming Saturday. But we also have on the following Saturday a live paint off, which is really fun. It's going to be all the PAL's members. We're going to be doing a live painting right then and there, and you can enter a raffle for a chance to win the painting from each of us.
I'm going to do my best. I'm supposed to be heading home on Saturday, so I might not. But I'm going to do my best, because I'm always, if somebody, you know, I have FOMO. I don't want to miss out. So
well, it's cool too, because you know we are also trying to think outside the box. And just to finish off the event. The very final event is April 25th. And that's a live performance by one of my favorite local bands, Matterform. They're like really into funk and kind of jazz and rock. They're really, really good.
All right.
But anyhow, we're trying to like, you know, really do something exciting with this show. And like when we were brainstorming ideas for what we imagined it would look like, we wanted it to be very immersive. So we're going to have these nature boxes. Did I tell you about those?
No.
So they're essentially like really low-lying boxes made out of like 2x4s for a wall, essentially, and then lined with thick plastic. But then we're putting like pea gravel and dirt, and we are working with Mini Nature Reserve to bring a bunch of native plants in the gallery.
Get out. I love it.
So it's going to be like a little diorama of like the outdoors. And then we're going to even have our outdoor plein air easel set up inside.
Oh, that's perfect.
So you can see it set up. And I'm working on different ways to, you know.
You have to, I don't want to say you have to explain to people, but I think that is something specifically. And
not everyone knows what plein air is.
They really don't.
You know?
And that's what I mean. That's perfect. That's such a great
and like, you know, we want to bring the outdoors indoors, essentially, because like these aren't just paintings, right? These are experiences that we've put down on canvas from these locations and at the time, you know.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What people, I think, okay, we've been talking about landscapes forever right now and plein air and stuff, but what you don't realize is you're recording something, right? You're painting a picture, but it's a record of what that looks like today.
And it's very human because it's not a photo, right? And the whole purpose is for it not to be a photo, because a photo is all just raw detail. You have everything there, but for a painting, it's like you have, you know, personality and expression, and you have.
It's also what you see as the artist, right? You might miss something, but you might catch something else.
Yeah.
Like you're not everyone's gonna see the same thing from the same view. I love the idea of a record in time, though. Like it's something. It's very.
I think the location, the date's very important. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have these geotags, so you can actually scan a QR code. It'll take you to exactly on the map where we were when we painted it.
Wow.
And I'm gonna have the date there for like where we or when we painted that. So it's really gonna tie it down to a specific time and location. I love it.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have soundscapes going through the entire gallery.
Perfect.
So we're gonna have like, you know, birds chirping, and we're gonna have like water flowing.
Yeah.
And, like, you know,
I'm feeling inspired. I have to change it up here. I'm gonna have to. I gotta. You know,
it's going to be an annual show. We don't want it to be at the same place every year.
So I love it. We should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open. You know that. If you want to do this here next year, I would do it. Cool. We might not be able to do a month long, but we could definitely do something like, you know, like with the 3 different things. I mean, it's really ambitious. I love to see how it goes. We'd probably have to we'd have to get ahead of the program. Look at me. I'm already like, and then I have to think of the calendar. Yeah, I would love to have something like that here. It's very different. People would really enjoy it. I think we'd get our Ojai crowd. We'd have people come down the hill. Like, it's a very cool thing. Yeah. When I first started, I had several installations, a couple immersive things. Ventura didn't quite grasp onto some, you know, they were a little too out there, but I think if it's a little bit more related to Ventura specifically, like people would get in. Yeah. I'm a little out there with the art sometimes. I'm like, oh, it's a risk, you know, but
I think got to be risky a little bit. You know?
It's for me. Most people come in and they're, you know, it's getting better. I love that Ventura is getting better all the time. I mean, all the new buildings and all the new, you know, all
I mean, Midtown in particularly is really in this process of growth for sure. Yeah,
I've been thinking about doing morning gallery hours because of all the walking. Everyone here loves their coffee, so it's just the walking by traffic, and I just thought, might be a little different, you know, and then get that out of the way.
Well, I mean, think about it, like coffee shops, people go there to work and to have like study time.
Yeah.
Now we have this co-working space.
Well, the co-working is awesome. I'm taking full advantage of it. Yeah. Co-working is awesome, but it's also just, I think it'll lend to a different person to come in as well. Like we're gonna, you know, it's opening it up to all different types of different working people, not just someone that only wants to focus on art or only wants to focus on, you know, it's going to be very nice in here. Yeah, I really love it. All right. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, I also wanted to share too.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
So we talked about the PAL show, which I don't know when this will be released, but you know, hopefully we can get some bites.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up. That way we know we have it for April, and then we'll do the whole thing.
Oh, cool. Okay. Later. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Okay. But anyhow, so there's a PAL show coming up in April for those 3 dates, the 4th, the 11th, and the 25th. But I also just want to share that one of my more recent paintings was accepted in the California Art Club's Gold Medal exhibition this year. So it's going to be at the Hilbert Museum in June. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there in Orange. I think it's happening in Orange at the Hilbert Museum. And then my solo show at the Santa Paula Art Museum next January.
Fantastic. Yeah. I know I'll be able to see that because I'm coming through again. According to the program, I should be here around January, so I know.
Oh, cool. Good. That. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be really fun. That's what that big piece I'm working on in my studio. That's what that's
so
for.
Good. Yeah, you gotta keep working big.
Oh yeah, I have 2 more panels that are exact same size. But now it's like I'm excited to create pieces reflecting Ventura because this show is kind of based around the Santa Clara Valley since it's happening in Santa Paula. And I love Santa Paula. So this is like a great time for me to just focus in on painting the Santa Paula landscape.
I know that you're all about the local flair, and I think they're beautiful, and you're doing a very good job documenting the local areas.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any other ambitions to paint? Like, is there anything else that you would want to go visit and paint, or that's something that's like on your...
You know, I find it a little difficult to bring my inspiration from around the world back locally. You know, like I went to Alaska and I did some really, I painted there. You know, I was very inspired. And I came back, and it could have been the time of year, but I tried doing this painting class at the art museum that was from Denali, bringing the photos that I took and working off of my paintings as reference that I did out there, and I'm just trying to bring some of my experience back home essentially.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get many bites, and I realized there is that initial little impact. It's like, oh, this painting is from way over there. That's cool, but it doesn't really connect to people as much.
I think also people who are traditionally into probably this genre of artwork, it's because it's recognizable to them. It feels it feels local.
And right now I'm getting deeper and deeper roots into the county. So like, I feel like it makes sense to work on, areas that people here can recognize. And I think the Sierras is a really great location that's not local, but a lot of local people know.
Yeah.
It's not too far away.
Well, because we all go to the mountain, right? So that's something
and that's just like a huge gold mine of paintings that I can go out there and continue to do. But I think once I get too far, like even when I went to the Grand Tetons, like some people recognize that stuff, but you can tell if they don't know where it is, they're not as excited. Once people actually know, then it instantly gets them a lot more interested.
I was just there. I went there as a young woman, a very young lady. And then I was just there again. Let's see, it was 3 years ago, this Easter, right around Easter time we went. And it does not disappoint. I mean, when you see those, and then you have to time it though, because they can be completely covered. And so like, we were very, you feel so fortunate to see it clear. The time of year we went, it's still like changing the season and stuff, but it was just, I'm in awe. I go down, I'm just, but I love stuff like that. I've been fortunate enough to travel and see all the big national parks, and I really, really, that's why I was curious. I'm like, oh, this would be, because you have a different take. It is a landscape, but you're not trying to paint realistically, right? So like, yes, there's a sense of realism there, but it really, you have a specific perspective as an artist. And so I just thought it would be interesting to see if there's something else that you were,
Yeah, I mean, I think, as I go, it's just learning to push the differences more, like being able to push the texture more, different techniques on creating texture, and like using transparent paints and versus opaque paints, and where to push the color, but doing it in a way that's still grounded, So I think like the more I paint, I'm going to be able to kind of push my own style more and more just as I go, and I'm looking forward to
it's only getting better, and you're going to continue. I mean, you're so young, but you are, and you have so much time, to just continue to grow and be. And I love the idea of you posting up and having roots here, and really, I mean, you could, the foreseeable future could be I mean, in permanent collections.
I don't know if I'll be here forever, and I think I'm probably, right now it makes sense to focus what I'm doing here,
right?
But I'm hopefully, if I continue to grow, then I'm gonna start outgrowing this place, and I'm gonna start to go elsewhere.
I like to have little, I like to go all over, so I've been a few places, and then it's just I don't know if that's I don't know if that's in the blood somewhere. We gotta get up and go at some point.
It's very inspiring and almost like shocking to the system when you go somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Then there's this whole other community.
Oh yeah.
And then it only takes one visit, and then you feel like you've already started to build some momentum on building a relationship in this location. Like even when I went to where did I go? Phoenix, Scottsdale last December, and I made friends while I was out there, and got to meet some gallery owners, and painted with some artists over there, and I feel like I have just a little bit of a connection there now.
Absolutely.
And I want to go back there again. I want to grow in various areas, and it is difficult. I'm juggling a lot right now.
Yeah.
I wish I can just be a full-time artist, and maybe I'll get to that point.
We all do.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not alone. We all do. I mean, I am fortunate. I had my studio was here for years, and then when I had moved to LA, I had to give, I knew that wasn't going to continue. So moved to LA, still had my gallery here. I'm making it work, going to open in downtown LA. And then from there, I really kind of stopped painting because I had a tiny apartment. There's nowhere to put paintings, you know, so. And then I started to venture out into other things. That's when I got into film. And then, you know, you were able to still have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Moving to Texas, I finally have a studio again, and I just cannot stop. I mean, I work all day on gallery stuff, and I work all night painting because I have to set a timer so I can go to bed because I won't go to bed. I mean, it's just, because it's a new place. You're inspired. It's the shock to the system. And now I just cannot stop.
That's great.
And it's really been good, honestly, for both sides of the business, because as an artist, I get to feel the temperature of where I'm at, what's going to sell, what isn't. You know, I had opened the gallery in Austin for a little while, but I didn't live there, you know, and I was going back and forth, and Austin was fine. Not, you know, we did almost 4 years there, and it was great. No real complaints other than, I think, not living there, I wasn't able to take the temperature of what was really happening as a gallery.
Yeah.
And the galleries there are very, talk about territorial and like gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, it definitely helps to be plugged in.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is, you know, and we did well. I was able to get going. But now that I'm in my town that I'm in, that's where I want to open the next gallery. I've taken the temperature. I know the community. They are an incredibly welcoming and enthusiastic art community, which you don't, it's like a little town, so it's not something I would have thought.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have a whole plein air society out there.
Oh, cool.
They do a whole painting. They have a same organizer every year does this amazing job, and it's paint about town or paint around town, and all these artists come because it's the time of year we have this big bloom in Hill Country. All these painters come out, and you'll just see them out there everywhere you go for like a 30-mile radius. It's phenomenal. And then they have a little show at the end. But it isn't just traditional art. I mean, I got some weird stuff I put out into the world. They love it. So I know it's a really accepting art community there, you know, and that's exciting too.
Nice.
But I feel like, anyways, you have a lot of fires burning. I know I always do too. I'm like, I'm not happy unless I'm completely like at, you know,
at capacity.
Yes. Yeah. Like I wake up and I have so much to do today. Oh my God. Yeah. But if I woke up and I had nothing to do, I don't know what I would do with myself.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I think that's how some of us operate at that level.
Yeah.
So
it's fun to juggle, but you can only juggle if you have enough. Right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at some point you have to say, no, I wish I could.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could, you know.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's just part of growing.
You
have to be able to say no.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you for saying yes today.
Oh,
I appreciate it. And then I'm gonna clip this up. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
But that'll be that.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Awesome.